Good morning. Thank you for joining me in this morning mindfulness practice. Do you ever sit quietly and get an impulse to do something and you think, that's crazy? Where did that come from? You get a whisper or a hunch. That's your intuition. That's the answer to your prayers comes in the form of a feeling. This universal intelligence gives you an impulse feeling to do something. Start to trust that impulse, that intuition, that higher version of yourself that's going to lead you to the next step and the next step to the life that you truly desire. It's intuition that guides us. You might say it's the voice of God. It is your higher self, the higher version of you, universal intelligence, whatever you call it. It is what Tomas Troward calls the principle of guidance. In his book, The Hidden Power, he talks about, if I were asked which of all the spiritual principles ranked first, I should feel inclined to say the principle of guidance, not in the sense of being more essential than the others, for every portion is equally essential to the completeness of a perfect whole, but in the sense of being first in order of sequence and giving value to all our other powers by placing them in their due relation to one another. Being guided by the Spirit, giving value to our other powers, I say, because this also is one of our powers. It is that which, judged or observed from the standpoint of personal self-consciousness, is above us, but which, realized from the point of view of the unity of all spirit, is part and parcel of ourselves, because it is the infinite mind which is of necessity identified with all its manifestations. Looking to this infinite mind as a superior intelligence from which we may receive guidance does not therefore imply looking to an external source. On the contrary, it is looking to the innermost spring of our own being with a confidence in its action which enables us to proceed to the execution of our plans with a firmness and an assurance that are in themselves the very guarantee of our success. Tomas Troward is saying, ask for guidance. The all-powerful, all-knowing that is inside yourself. When you get the answer, you know where you want to go. You just know. Don't let the incidental problem, the outside world, control or upset us. The power is inside. The Spirit always expresses itself perfectly. You will feel it. Tomas Troward says, the action of the spiritual principles, our higher faculties in us, follows the order which we impose upon them by our thought. Therefore, the order of realization will reproduce the order of desire. And if we neglect the first principle of right order and guidance, we shall find ourselves beginning to put forth other great powers which are at present latent within us, without knowing how to find suitable employment for them, which would be a very perilous condition. For without having before us Objects worthy of the powers to which we awaken, we should waste them on petty purposes dictated only by the narrow range of our unilluminated intellect. Therefore, the ancient wisdom says, with all thy getting, get understanding. Get quiet and allow the answers to come to you. Ask for what you want. And then sit quietly and ask, what do you really want? Tomas Troward says the awakening to consciousness of our mysterious interior powers will sooner or later take place and will result in our using them whether we understand the law of their development or not. You've been gifted with intellectual faculties. It's your job to strengthen, just like you have been gifted with 5 physical senses. You can see, hear, smell, taste, and touch. Well, the animals have that. Your dog, your cat, your horses, the cows, they can all see and hear and taste. They can touch and smell. You are a spiritual being. You've been gifted with an intellect, and you have 6 intellectual faculties that puts you as God's highest creation. You have perception, intuition, will, reason, imagination, and memory. The awakening to consciousness of our mysterious interior powers will sooner or later take place and will result in our using them whether we understand the law of their development or not, just as we already use our physical factors whether we understand their laws or not. The interior powers are natural powers as much as the exterior ones. We have these interior powers, and we can develop them just like we develop our physical senses. We can tap into the universal intelligence, raise our conscious awareness. We can direct their use by a knowledge of their laws, and it is therefore of the highest importance to have some sound principle of guidance in the use of these higher faculties as they begin to manifest themselves. When you have an idea of what you really want, your heart's desire, that is a spiritual side of you looking to expand, looking to experience more life, more love, more happiness, more of all the good there is. We're not focusing on a physical manifestation just for the purpose of having more stuff. We don't want to be greedy. We want to experience more and more and more. And that's why we were put here on earth with physical senses, with a human body, to be able to bring more good to the world. If you think of some things that you want and you believe in having them, they'll make you happier. Just thinking once you get what you want, that you'll be happy, That's not how it works. You have to train your mind to be in the state of being happy, and then you become happy. If you want to be peaceful, comfortable, wealthy, loved, respected, you have to know what that feels like. You have to get into that state of being that, feeling that, and sending out that energy from within you. And then you attract all the people, all the resources, all the things, all the experiences, all the circumstances that show you evidence that you are loved, respected, happy, well, wealthy. You already are perfect. As you grow in your spiritual understanding, you understand that when you feel at peace, when you feel well-being, you naturally express that and you create that in your world. Everything starts on the inside. So go inside, use your intuition. Now, Tomas Troward goes on to say in The Principle of Guidance, if therefore we would safely and profitably enter into the possession of the great inheritance of power that is opening out before us, we must before all things seek to realize in ourselves that superior intelligence which will become an unfailing principle of guidance if we will only recognize it as such. Everything depends on our recognition. Thoughts are things, and therefore, as we will our thoughts to be, so we will the thing to be. We have to create it in our mind first and feel it in our heart. If then we will to use the infinite spirit as a spirit of guidance, we shall find that the facts as we have willed it, the fact is as we have willed it. And in doing this, we are still making use of our own supreme principle. And this is the true understanding which, by placing all other powers in their correct order, creates one grand unity of power directed to clearly defined and worthy aims, in place of the dispersion of our powers by which they only neutralize each other and affect nothing. So if you're focusing your attention on what one idea do you love, what makes you feel wonderful, brings well-being to you, what would you love if you're looking to create wealth? What does that mean in your life? How are you helping your family, the world? What are you doing to relieve your burdens and to feel wonderful, to feel worthy, to feel what God intended you to be here, experiencing more life in this lifetime? Everything costs money for you to buy clothing, live in the home you want, get around in vehicles, experience trips, buy food. Money is a value exchange. It's not dirty or evil. It's the way we trade in this life. the services that you provide, you're rewarded for through money so that you can buy experiences, food, clothing, pay your rent, pay for your utilities and other services. Don't look at wealth as being something bad. Consider it, what else could you do for yourself and the world if you had more wealth? What would you do if you were in love and loved? We cannot give what we do not have. So we first have to feel loved. We first have to feel lovable, worthy. We have to feel the state of being what we want to be. And we must fill ourselves up first, because you cannot pour from an empty vessel. When you're serving those around you, you want to serve from a heart full of love and joy and peace and faith. Tomas Troward says you have to hold one idea in your mind, because if your mind is in chaos, if it's not clearly defined toward a worthy aim, if it's going back and forth, it neutralizes, it affects nothing. So he's telling us, you cannot say, I want to be happy, healthy, loved, wealthy, and then turn around and say, but look, I'm poor, I'm miserable, I'm anxious, I'm depressed. Nothing's going to change. You must get into the spirit of the truth, the spirit that you were created perfectly, and that through your mind and body, you co-create your world. This is the spirit of truth which shall guide us into all truth. It is the sincere desire of us reaching out after truth. Truth first and power afterwards is the reasonable order, which we cannot invert without injury to ourselves and others. But if we follow this order, we shall always find scope for our powers developing into present realities, the continually growing glory of our vision of the ideal. The ideal is the true real. Love is resonance. You have to be in love with the ideal life that you prefer to live. What is it that you really want? You must be in resonance, feeling what it feels like. The ideal is the true real, but it must be brought into manifestation before it can be shown to be so. And it is this that the practical nature of our mental studies consists. It is the practical mystic who is the man of power, the man who, realizing the mystical powers within, fits his outward action to this knowledge, and so shows his faith by his works. And assuredly, the first step is to make use of that power of infallible guidance, which he can call to his aid simply by desiring to be led by it. Let the Spirit guide you. You want to be working in harmony with the laws. Build the picture of what you want and ask Spirit, ask God, Ask universal intelligence. Feeling is conscious awareness. As you sit quietly and contemplate, what is it that I desire? How do I want to live my life? Who am I becoming? How am I growing? Become aware of the spirit within you and ask for guidance. The outside world reflects back to us what we have been thinking. Allow the spirit of guidance into our heart, into our head, allowing it to bridge that gap between where we are and where we want to be. It's so powerful to get in harmony with the universe instead of criticizing and ridiculing what we don't understand. Pay attention to what you're doing. How can I do more with less effort? How can I capitalize on this opportunity? Pay attention to what you're doing. Is there a better way to do what I'm doing? Is there a better way? How can I live the life that I truly desire? It's essential that you go inside, create the idea in your mind. Your thoughts become things. You are the cause and the effect of everything in your life. You're causing the effects through your thoughts, through your feelings, through your actions. Ask, is there a better way? What else can I do? I like to think that every day my life is getting better and better. Some days don't really reflect that, but the more I focus on going inside, asking for guidance, deciding what I want, using intuition, allowing the spirit to guide me, sitting quietly and asking for guidance. Take the time to get into a feeling of deep and profound gratitude. What are you grateful for today? There is a 3-step process that I love. It is sitting and writing out 10 things that you're grateful for. I am so happy and grateful. I woke up. This is a brand new day, a day that has never been lived before. I woke up in a beautiful, comfortable bed in a home that I created. I am grateful for a hot cup of coffee. I am grateful for central heat when the weather is frigidly cold outside. I am grateful for a reliable vehicle. I am grateful for my family. Get into that feeling of deep gratitude. Ask Spirit for guidance. That means sitting quietly for 5 minutes and allowing a hunch, an impulse, intuition, a whisper, getting quiet and allowing the answer to come. The power is flowing to and through you. You must sit still and listen. That takes practice. That takes practice because your body's going to want to jump up and do things. Your mind is going to tell you there's a million things I have to get done. The most important thing is to ask for guidance for the day. Set an intention. This is going to be a wonderful day. Ease and flow, well-being expressed through me. I can get more done today than I have all last week. Tap into that universal intelligence. And then the third step is to send love to people who bother you. If there are a lot of people, limit it to 3. If you don't have anyone bothering you, if life is wonderful and you're happy, maybe you just want to send out love to the world. If you're having a time of frustration, send love to yourself. So take the time. You can write a goal that you want to attain, something that big and beautiful that you're going after. Getting into the spirit of the wish fulfilled, what it looks like, what it feels like now that you're there. If you're writing out a gratitude list, include your big, beautiful dream goal in your list of what you're grateful for. Write it out as if it's already done. You know it. It's yours. It's here now. Get into the spirit of it. Write out 10 things you're grateful for. Ask Spirit for guidance for the day. Send love to those who bother you. Looking to the infinite mind as a superior intelligence from which we may receive guidance does not imply looking to an external source. It is looking to the innermost spring of our own being with a confidence in its action, which enables us to proceed to the execution of our plans with a firmness and an assurance that they are in themselves the very guarantee of our success. Create a wonderful day. Thank you for joining me in this morning mindfulness. Use the principle of guidance. I'll see you back here tomorrow morning at 7. And if you noticed, I'm putting on a 3-day transformation mastery. Feel free to join me at noon today. Thank you.